Hey everyone, I'm David Danzis with Play NJ. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Atlantic City Boardwalk Talk. We're here outside of Golden Nugget Hotel, Casino, and Marina in Atlantic City. We've got a great episode lined up for you this week. We're going to talk to Tom Pohlman, General Manager and Senior Vice President here at Golden Nugget. We'll also sit down and talk with Kevin Scull, who's the Assistant General Manager and Vice President of Resort Operations. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on here in Atlantic City, what things look like since COVID restrictions have been lifted. And we'll also talk about some of the great things going on here this summer at Golden Nugget. Before I do that, I just want to recap a little bit about the July 4th weekend. It was a great weekend here in Atlantic City. Things were opened up 100%, no masks, no social distancing, some great fireworks on the boardwalk for 4th of July night and also at Borgata here in the Marina. The casinos were packed, the floors were packed, the hotels were full. It really was a return to normalcy for Atlantic City casinos, and it was a big win for a city that was in desperate need of one. Another of the big changes that happened over the 4th of July weekend was the return of smoking inside Atlantic City casinos. There had been a temporary ban on smoking inside the casinos for over a year as part of New Jersey's COVID-19 restrictions. That restriction has now been lifted, and you'll hear a little bit about what that's meant to the casino property from Tom Pohlman in our interview later this afternoon. Last but not least, I want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on with the college sports betting. You've heard my colleague Bill Gelman and I talk a little bit about this in some previous episodes. There will be a November referendum in the general election, and New Jersey voters are going to decide whether sports betting should also include betting on colleges and in-state college events. Since sports betting was legalized in 2018, New Jersey sports gamblers have been unable to bet on teams like Rutgers, Seton Hall, or Princeton. They've also been unable to bet on any collegiate events that take place here in New Jersey. So for instance, things like the MAC tournament that take place at Boardwalk Hall here in Atlantic City, even if there's no New Jersey college teams participating in the tournament, you still cannot bet on that. So that will be up for a vote in November. There was a poll that just recently came out from Fairleigh Dickinson University that showed really slim support for this referendum. Only 25% of registered voters that were contacted for this poll supported changing New Jersey sports betting law. So there's some work to be done if that's going to happen in November. There's still another chance 2 years down the road, if this one does fail, that New Jersey can try once again to get these changes to the sports betting law passed before the NCAA men's basketball tournament comes here in 2025. They'll be coming to the Newark Prudential Center. So New Jersey lawmakers really want to get that change before 2025. They'll have the first bite at the apple here in 2021. If for some reason it doesn't pass, they'll have another opportunity in 2023. All right, guys, as you can tell, I'm short my partner in crime this week, Bill Gelman. He is on vacation, so I'm going to keep this intro short. We're going to get right into our interviews with Tom Pohlman and Kevin Scull. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Atlantic City Boardwalk Talk. If you like what we're doing here, don't forget to hit the like button down there at the bottom of the video. If you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on with Play NJ and Play USA, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
They've been great. The biggest restriction that was lifted was the removal of the social distancing requirement. Prior to that, we were at 100% capacity that we were allowed in restaurants. Unfortunately, we still had to maintain 6 feet of social distancing between unknown parties, so we really didn't gain much occupancy through that. When that restriction was lifted, no more social distancing required. We were able to go back and operate our restaurants at full capacity, posted capacity. So that's been the biggest help. And then most recently, July 4th, the smoking ban tied to the emergency order was lifted. And as much as I'm not a smoker in the gaming environment, it's a necessary evil. And we're starting to see a lot of people come back with smoking being allowed now. From a land-based standpoint, we are the smallest hotel and casino in town, so our overhead is a lot less than what the larger properties are. But while we were closed, we still needed security, facilities staff, and key personnel. So I think we were at an advantage where we were probably able to operate a lot less costly than some of the larger properties. But on the flip side, our online gaming at the time was the largest in New Jersey. So it did take quite an effort to keep all that going with Live Dealer and our on-property studio. So that was interesting navigating through that during COVID. First and foremost, I think every operator realized how to operate a lot more efficiently. So I don't anticipate going back to 2019 levels when it comes to operating and expenses. So we've learned to be smarter about what we do. As far as elevating guest experiences, our property, being as small as it is, has always been known for guests feeling like they're family. You're not a number, you're a name. People recognize you. So I think we've continued to grow on that and be more engaged with our customers, listening to their complaints. It's no secret there is a major labor shortage, not only in Atlantic City, but across the country. And customers don't always want to hear that they're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get a meal or to get a jackpot paid or to get a drink. So engaging with customers and really explaining to them and doing everything we can. We've got more managers that are hands-on, helping our frontline staff get things done. So I think that's been a positive for us and has increased the customer experience for us. As you said here, we've got the deck that was famous in Atlantic City before we took the property over. We are now on our full 7-day-a-week entertainment schedule, so the deck is in full force. We missed out on the deck last year because under the governor's orders, we weren't allowed to have dance floors. You had to maintain social distancing, and we needed that space to have Chart House and Vic and Anthony's operate in the off time. So we're happy to have the deck back in its full form. There's blackjack tables out on the deck where you can enjoy gambling while listening to entertainment. And then our pool and H2O area is one of the nicest pools in town with one of the best views. We've got 3 blackjack tables up there. This year we did implement a policy where after 2 p.m. nobody under 16 years old is allowed up there. In the past, families have created a problem for our older guests that really want to enjoy the relaxing environment. So this year we took that step and we implemented that policy, and it's been working great for us where families and kids are able to use the pool up until 2 p.m. and then after 2 p.m. the adults come out and get to relax and enjoy music and DJs and other things that we have up there. I believe everybody's going to be working a lot harder than we ever have. Anticipation is it's going to be probably a more profitable summer for everyone compared to 2019. Just because of the way we're operating, we can't hire staff that we need. So we anticipate it's going to be a very strong operating result for us. No, I think, although we are the smallest hotel and casino in town, we've got some of the best restaurants in town and some of the best outdoor amenities. So come join us at the Golden Nugget and see what we're all about.
Well, I don't know that the demand has changed. It's almost went right back to business as usual from 19. Guests understood during the 20 and what we were all going through and what they were going through. And once everything was lifted, we just went right back to normal operations. And the guests are great. We get to see our regulars back that may not have been there last year. So it's a lot of fun again. Well, typically in May, we would start ramping up for seasonal employees, and we cannot find seasonal employees. I know a lot of our competitors are in the same situation, but not only not getting seasonal employees, it's really been difficult even getting our full-time employees back. Some have either retired, some don't feel comfortable coming back to work, some we just can't even get in touch with. And It's been extremely difficult to staff on a day-to-day basis. Well, we're just getting over our Fake Fest, which is a weekend festival out at the deck, and it was a great time. And we're going right into the Jimmy Johnson Fishing Tournament, which is a citywide event based out of our marina here. We're looking for a great first year, and then just continue on from years moving forward. Then we have our Woodstock event. It's deck stock. It's a reenactment, so to speak, of Woodstock. That is August 14th. Then we go right after Labor Day, we go right into our annual boat show, in-water boat show here at the marina, which is always a great time for our customers. Getting back to the staffing concerns that we're having, what I really like to emphasize, and I know a lot of, again, our competitors are going through the same thing. However, we really need to appreciate the employees that have come back and supported us and are doing more and more jobs than they normally would have done in the past. So that's very much appreciated, and we respect them for doing that for us.